What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, a couple weeks ago, we unboxed this guitar, the Sweetwater Exclusive Squier Stratocaster. And I kind of mentioned in that video that I have some future mod plans for this guitar, and that was the whole point of getting it. So, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the issues I had with this guitar, kind of right out of the box. And just how I fix those issues and all that jazz. So, first thing we're going to do is go to the demo, though, because I feel like with this guitar in particular, it makes a little more sense if I kind of just, here's the demo, and then we'll kind of talk about how I got there. Because this video is, I wanted to do a video and like a demo of this guitar before I did any mods to it. So, here we go. Demo. Okay, so, hope you guys dug that demo. A little different for me. So that is a Blink-182 song. And if you know what song that is, drop it in the comments, let me know. Because I figured it'd be kind of cool to do for the demo because of the plans I have for this guitar. Which is, like I said last time, we're going to turn it into a Tom DeLonge Strat. The whole point is, if you've ever seen the Boxcar Racer video for I Feel So, yeah, white racing stripes, Seymour Duncan Invader, Masonic emblem inlays. So, I got a bunch of cool stuff to do to this, but I wanted to make a demo and like a review of it, bone stock. So, here we are. So, the issues that I had with this guitar right out of the box. The main issue was, as you can see now, the strings are straight on the neck, like they're supposed to be. When I got it out of the box, after messing with it, playing with it for a little while, I realized that from like here, from like here up or down, I don't know, from here down, we'll say down. From here down, like everything was fine. But as you started to work your way up the neck, the high E string was like way over on the edge of the fingerboard. So when you would play, it would like slip off. And I thought about sending the guitar back, but I was like, maybe I can fix it by putting a shim in the neck and like pushing the, heel over a little bit. So that means the neck was in the pocket like this. So it was like cocked this way a little bit, and this part of the neck was being pushed that way. So it was like crooked in the neck pocket. So I put a shim in here to try to level it all out, and that worked. So I was like, okay, cool, got lucky on that. A couple other problems I had with it were the frets were super scratchy and like not polished at all. And when you like would do this, it didn't sound that smooth. It sounded like sandpaper. It was like, so that was pretty rough. So I polished all the frets out. The fingerboard was super dry, like insanely dry. So I oiled it up pretty good. And then the back of the neck was like 90% finished. It's like they were sanding it out, and they got like 90% of the way done, and they just said, it's a $300 Squier, whatever, just send it. So I didn't like that. So I steel wooled and micro meshed the back of the neck and got it real smooth. And then I used this stuff, this Howard Feed and Wax Wood Polish and Conditioner. It's beeswax and orange oil. This is a really good product for like sealing raw necks. It's super smooth and it's sealed and it just feels really nice. So my dad turned me onto that stuff, and I've been using it on a lot of guitars with like raw finish necks on them. Super cool stuff. So if you're looking for something, if you're thinking about sanding the neck down and you want to leave it raw wood, but you want it to be like protected, this stuff right here. So once I got all that sorted out, I realized after plugging the guitar up that the electronics just did not sound how I wanted them to sound. And so, I'm pretty transparent in these demos. Like, I try to say, I try not to use a whole lot in post-processing. I try not to do a whole lot of, like, EQing and stuff at the end. Like, I want to give you pretty, like, straight-in audio so you can hear, like, what the guitar or the amp I'm demoing sounds like. But this thing was, like, super dark and muddy sounding. So what I wound up doing, excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold. So what I wound up doing was I used STL Tones Will Putney guitar plug-in for guitar and bass. The guitar amp I used was the Mesa Boogie Triple Crown, and it has like a tight switch on it. And then I had a tube screamer going in front of that with the tone cranked up, tightening up the low end, adding some more top end. And then I used some post EQ to kind of shape that some more how I wanted, to really get that sound like a nice, like, bright, clear sound. And then with the bass tone, I used the Ampeg SVT model that's in that, and I used a Sans amp plug-in in front of that to get that like Mark bass tone, that Mark Hoppus 90s pop punk kind of bass tone. So, and I used the P bass, so it's a real bright, like, present bass tone, so that helped a lot too. The issue is, this is just a cheap humbucker. They said it's like custom wound for this guitar specifically, but like, it's a $300 Chinese Squier. Like, I don't expect to have some kind of awesome custom pickup in it. But I think the bigger problem, and this has always been my problem with Fender guitars with humbuckers in them, is that Fender uses 250K pots in all their guitars, regardless of whether or not they have single coils or humbuckers. Like Gibson uses 500K pots, because humbuckers are typically like a little darker, so a 500K pot lets a lot more top in, a lot more high end frequency through. Single coils have a rep for being a little bright, so they use 250K pots to kind of tame them. But for whatever reason, Fender just is like, whatever, 250K pots in every guitar, who cares? So that's why I'm not a big fan of like stock Fender guitars with humbuckers in them. I feel like you got to swap the pots out for 500K pots so the humbuckers don't sound like they're underwater, That's just my opinion. But I don't like the way the 250K pots sound with humbuckers. So that's why I had to go so out of my way in post to like make this guitar sound how I want it to sound. But that's not going to be an issue after I do all the modifications to this I want to do. So we're going to put a Seymour Duncan Invader in it, because that's what Tom uses. We're going to put 500K pot in it. We're going to do the racing stripes. We're going to do the Masonic symbols on the neck. Yeah. But after all that is said and done, I know it kind of sounds like I just, crapped all over the guitar, but after all that was said and done, there was actually a really good little guitar under all that. So it just needed some bugs worked out of it, I guess my final thoughts on it are going to be like, if you want to buy this guitar to kind of do like what I'm doing with it, like modding it out, whatever, I think it's a good buy. It's cheap. It's already like halfway, 3/4 of the way there. So like if you want to do the Tom, because if you're into Tom Strats, like what they look like on the used market. They're crazy expensive, like way overpriced. So this is a good way to kind of do your own Tom Strat at an actual affordable price, So if that's your intention with a guitar like this, cool, goodbye. I think it's a good BUY buy. Yeah. If you're just gonna buy this and give it to your kid or your niece or nephew or something like that, or a friend or something like that for Christmas, to just be like, hey man, I bought you a cool guitar here. Like, I don't know. I know my sample size is only 1, but I'd probably just save a little more and buy something a little better because this was not that great right out of the box. Also, this is a Sweetwater exclusive. So you can only buy this from Sweetwater. And Sweetwater's 55-point inspection. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Sweetwater. I buy a lot of stuff from them, but like I said, there was a lot going on with this guitar, and it made it through the 55-point inspection. That's all I'm saying. So, I am excited about it, though. I think once we get it tomed out, it's going to be pretty cool. So, thanks for tuning into the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video, get in the comments. Talk about Tom Strats in the comments. Tell me what, if you got a Tom Strat, tell me about it. Because I think Tom Strats are super cool. I wish they still made them so I could buy one and not have to spend $2,000 on it like they are online used. So, yeah. That is the review of the Sweetwater Exclusive Squier Strat. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week.